Let's talk about contour line drawings. There are three main types of contour drawing: contour line, blind contour, and continuous contour. In art, a contour line drawing is basically an outline drawing of an object or subject. It is very flat with a lot of empty space and no value or shading. When an artist uses contour lines to draw, they look at both the subject and the paper while drawing. Here's an example of a contour line drawing by Spanish painter Pablo Picasso. Notice how flat the drawing is. There is no shading at all, and a lot of white space is showing through the lines. Here is a self-portrait of French painter Henri Matisse using contour lines. He was a big fan of the simplistic style of contour drawing, and often used contour drawing as an exercise to improve his drawing skills. American artist Alexander Calder used contour line in a really unique way. He actually turned his contour drawings into wire sculptures. A blind contour drawing is a drawing exercise. When an artist is practicing blind contour, they keep their eyes on the subject while drawing. In blind contour, you aren't supposed to look down at your paper while drawing. This exercise helps strengthen your hand-eye coordination and is a lot of fun because the drawings usually end up looking really expressive and interesting, but also pretty hilarious sometimes. The last type of contour drawing is continuous contour, also called continuous line drawing. In continuous line drawing, the artist draws the subject with one single line, never picking up their pencil or marker until the drawing is finished. A lot of artists use contour drawing in their work. Artists draw portraits and self-portraits as the subject for their contour drawings, and even use random objects like shoes, bowls of fruit, water bottles, anything really. We're going to start a series of contour line drawings using the three types of contour line. We'll start with the regular contour, then move on to blind contour, and then move on to continuous contour. What I'd like you to do first is choose your subject. Okay, for this contour line series, the first thing that you're going to need to do is make this paper smaller. We're going to have some smaller papers that we're going to work on, and everybody has big paper. To make it smaller, we need it to be about half that size. So fold it in half, open it back up, and you'll see the fold line down the middle. You're just going to use some scissors to cut. Set that aside and do the same thing with a second piece of paper so that you have 4 smaller pieces of paper to work with. 3 for the series project, the contour line series, and 1 extra in case you make a mistake or you want to try again or whatever. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of small paper here. I'm just going to use one at a time. Okay, so you're going to need to pick your subject matter. Your subject matter could be you. If you want to do a self-portrait, I'm choosing to do my water bottle as my subject. It could be an object, it could be a little group of objects like small art supplies grouped together. It could be a shoe, it could be whatever you want it to be. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start out with the regular contour drawing. The regular basic contour drawing is where you're just drawing the outline of the object or the subject. So I'm just going to start by using a pencil and just looking at the outside edges of the object. I'm not going to put any values or shading on there at all. I'm just drawing the outline of my water bottle. So there's the side. I'm going to come down here to this bottom edge, and it's rounded because the water bottle itself is round. I'm going to go back up the other side. Okay, now I'm going to draw that metal part, shiny part, and now I'm going to move on to the cap, the lid. Okay, very simple, very basic. Now, if I wanted to, I could even do the little shelf that it's sitting on, or I could just draw a tabletop. I think I'm just gonna draw a tabletop. There we go. There's my contour line drawing, basic contour. Okay. Now for the basic contour, I was looking back and forth between the subject or the object and my paper. So my eyes and my hand and my pencil were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, looking at the lines, the contour lines, the outside edges, and then replicating that on my paper. Now the next one that we're going to do is blind contour. And blind contour is where you do not look at your paper while you are drawing. Your eyes stay fixed on the subject and your pencil moves to wherever your eyes move to. So your pencil and your hand and your eyes are working together, but you're not looking at the paper and then the subject. You're looking only at the subject and drawing on your paper. Blind contour is the one that kind of gets a little bit funny sometimes because you're not looking at the paper, you're looking at the object or the subject. It sometimes gets a little bit funny. So here we go. I'm not going to look back at my paper at all. I'm just going to keep drawing. Okay, so there we go. Oh, I forgot to draw the bottom part without looking, but I'll do that quick. All right, so there's my blind contour. As you can see, looks a little bit funny, looks a little bit expressive, and that's fine, I like it. So I'm gonna label it blind contour. And we'll move on to the third one. Contour drawing number 3 is going to be continuous contour or continuous line. With this one, you're looking at your subject and the paper at the same time, but you're never picking up your pencil. So this means that you might have to go back over certain lines sometimes and go over top of lines in order to get onto the other side. So we'll see how this goes. This is continuous contour. So I'm going back over these lines because I need to get back to the other side. And this inside part is going to be a little tricky because I got to go back up to the top, over here, and then go back down because I need to do the table. And there we go. There's my continuous line contour drawing. Continuous contour. Okay, so there we have it. Now you have your extra piece of paper. If you want, you can try one of these other ones again so that you have 4 to work with. Okay, so what I'd like you to do next is use your Sharpie marker, your permanent marker, and trace over your pencil lines for your contour drawing. Once you're finished tracing everything, what I would like you to do is use an eraser and go back over and erase any pencil lines that you still see showing through the marker. One thing that I forgot to mention when you're outlining with your Sharpie, resist the urge to make it look perfect. You see, I still went over my lines that look a little wonky and strange and weird because that is exactly how I drew it with my pencil. Don't go erase your mistakes before you trace with your Sharpie. Keep your mistakes on there because that's what's part of the process of looking and comparing of the differences. Okay. Also, when you're drawing with your pencil, don't erase. Don't use your eraser when you're drawing. The only time you're using your eraser for this project is to erase the pencil lines after you finish with your Sharpie. When you're all finished, you can put them away and we'll move on to the next step next class.